You want to see the worst ghost hunting show of all time? Then you came to the right place. Paranormal Home Inspectors is exactly what you're looking for. However, it's also the best ghost hunting show of all time. It's a show that's so bad, it's good. I love it. According to IMDb, Paranormal Home Inspectors explores the homes of people who feel they are being haunted. If you like what I do, then consider subscribing and let me know your thoughts in the comments. There's not much information on this show. It's kind of hard to find. It seems like they made the show, but it was so atrocious that they were embarrassed and pulled it from all the services. Kind of like how George Lucas wanted to smash all copies of the holiday special with the hammer. The show is divided into a few main parts. The initial interview with the host and the homeowner talking about their hauntings, the section with the regular home inspector, the paranormal inspectors doing their investigations, and the conclusion, which always involve ghosts. Guaranteed, in every single case. Believe me, ghosts are much more interesting than an incorrectly installed door. I welcome ghosts, goblins, and ghouls happily. But in this show, unfortunately, there are none. So why are they trying to convince you otherwise? Each section is just so weird and seems so disjointed from each other. The host of the show is not even the same woman who does the voiceover. What's with that? After they meet the homeowner and they hear their story, they call the home inspector and give him the list of things that are haunted. He then comes and disproves absolutely everything. He is so not into it, and you can tell he's just there because he's getting paid.
The closet door, I'd come downstairs and then I'd go back upstairs and the closet door would be open.
Right off the top, I can see that our floor is sagged a little bit.
Door at the top of the stairs is an easy one. It's not level to begin with because the floor is shifted, so it naturally wants to open.
Now, my list tells me that the homeowner has heard noises in the attic. There's probably raccoons trying to get together and make baby raccoons. Oh, yeah.
Definitely raccoons.
We're gonna have a look at the fireplace in the living room here. Apparently, it's been coming on and off by itself. So the problem seems to have occurred down here with the electronics. And then look at this. We can see right here, the wires are loose. We've got a loose screw in the connection. This is an easy fix. It's just a turn of the screw just to tighten up that connection, and the fireplace should operate properly.
There's nothing unexplainable or strange in this house. Everything has a plausible explanation. Not uncommon to have these kinds of things happen in a house of this age. It's called character. It has lots of creaks and bumps and grinds. There's nothing wrong with this house at all.
This is fantastic. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Already, not even halfway in the first episode, they already threw out the entire show. So there's nothing weird in this house. You guys just are imagining things, and I don't understand. Okay, if you're gonna have a guy come and inspect your house, okay, that's fine. Do it after you have the ghost people go and look for ghosts. Why in the hell do you have it in the beginning? How does that make any sense? So you're gonna have the guy come and look for ghosts, and then you're gonna have the paranormal people come in and say, hey, you know, I know the guy said it wasn't ghost, but oh, just kidding, it's ghost, LOL. Like, what? Like, how the hell does that make any sense? I've heard a lot about this show, but I still can't believe it. I can't believe it. How does this show exist? I mean, I'm glad it does. Yeah. How are you gonna disprove your entire episode of the show, and probably the whole show in general, in the very beginning part of the episode? I mean, this is crazy. What incentive is there for me to continue watching when the guy inspector says, hey, there's no ghost? What am I gonna look at afterwards? What's the point? We already know there's no ghost. So why am I gonna continue watching? I don't understand. After that, they call the paranormal investigators and they investigate.
I had this really heavy presence in my chest. I'm actually picking up an animal spirit. Two elderly men a lady. There's quite a few here, and I'm not sure why. I'm just gonna ask everybody to calm down because it's a little bit overwhelming right now. They're basically saying I won't take no for an answer. There's a lot of presence in this room right now. A little bit of heaviness here, and I'm not sure why. Okay, that girl is here. Ooh, she just came right through me.
But you can tell it's so fixed, and all the things they talk about are just so mundane and things that are not even remotely scary. You know what's truly terrifying? Pastels. And they stretch far to make connections that are barely even there, or not there at all. It's like you give a millimeter and they take 10,000 kilometers. Every tragic thing that has ever happened ever within 100 kilometers of the house is used as evidence for ghost activity or related to the hauntings of the house. It's just so crazy. There is even an episode of one person who has experienced sleep paralysis, and they said that was caused by aliens. And that's not fair, because I never met an alien that can cause that. Nadine, the psychic, just seems so phony. Like she doesn't even believe what she herself is saying. The conclusion always involves the paranormal, and never the logical explanation that has been proven by the home inspector. Everything is always arranged in a way to reinforce the beliefs and biasness of the showrunners, ghost hunters, and homeowners, and the home inspector's findings are always disregarded.
In summary, Brian has come up with some plausible explanations for what has been going on in the house. However, from what Nadine has discovered, and from my investigation, I'm tending to gear more towards that there is paranormal activity going on here.
This show really is one of the worst, if not the worst show I have ever seen. It just flabbergasted me to the core how much of a mess this show is. It's a completely abysmal catastrophe. And I love it. I mean, everything from the direction, the story, or in this case, the episode structure, the editing, the music, the tone, the sidekicks acting, the pacing, the writing. I mean, they didn't even explain what was in the drain in the first episode. I mean, everything is just awful. It's not coherent and it just doesn't make any logical sense. And those ghost inspectors are just pure cringe. The woman with all the feelings and the presence and all that, the psychic, is just so unconvincing. Her presentation is so poor. It seems like she's not even trying or that into it. It's like they're trying to make you believe them, but it comes off as so fake. But the biggest issue here has to be with the narrative structure of the show. It's so odd, and it completely fails at being a ghost hunting show and a ghost debunking show. So its biggest flaw has to be in the story structure. The overall presentation of the show is just so poor. The show needs a complete reformatting, but then it would just be like any other show and wouldn't be as memorable as fun as it is now. So maybe it should stay as it is. If it were not for the home inspector so casually invalidating everything, this show wouldn't have been as memorable or as fun and wouldn't be worth anything. The look on the people's faces when they are told what they thought were ghosts were really just normal things, è bellissimo. But some people really continue to believe it was ghosts, and the host still presses on with that, even when all the evidence there is pointing to everything but ghosts, even to raccoon sex, but not ghosts. The people that still believe must be delusional or must not want to appear wrong on TV, so they stand by what they think even if it's wrong. But that is worse, because it just makes you look like a fool. It's wild how the people making this saw this and said, yeah, this is top quality. To think how this show got made and was released to the public for people like me is inconceivable, unthinkable, and incomprehensible. Since this is a non-narrative work, the scoring is different than compared to narrative works. The same scoring factors that are narrative works can be used in non-narrative, documentary, or reality TV works. Things like cinematography can be included because documentary and reality shows' main focus is not on that, but in capturing the action as it happens. When there is something bad, we discount a point, and when there is something good, we just leave it alone. After calculating all the points on a scale from 0 to -10, 0 being the most boring, most uninteresting show, to -10 being the worst, most interesting and fun show, the total score is -7.35. And this is a rubric that was graded on. The show is one of the strangest, most baffling shows I've ever seen, and that must be the reason why it's not well known. But it should be. It's awfully fun. I definitely recommend this show, especially watching it with friends or others that like ghost hunting shows and or bad shows in general. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel. Subscribe and click the bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. If you want to support the channel even more, visit me on Patreon. I am also on Fiverr, offering services for all your audio and video production needs, including film and YouTube video editing and music production.
There's nothing wrong with this house at all.